What's going on, everybody? Change some things on the settings for the mic, so let me know if you can hear me okay, or if I need to move the mic around a little bit. I turned the volume up, but I put it a little further away from myself. So I never know how the settings are because I can't test them ahead of time since I'm using StreamYard to stream. But if you guys want to join, we're going to play some Geoguessr, and there's the info to join. We can do up to 100 people. James Garfield in the house. Mr. President, how you doing? I was pondering yesterday how we've had two presidents from Northeast Ohio, and they were both assassinated. So that in and of itself would keep me from ever running for president. So I hope everybody's doing well. We'll do a Q&A like we always do. So really any topic is fine. If you want to ask questions, we'll try to get to as many of those as I can. But at the same time, also playing a little Geoguessr gives us something to talk about. So Brandon says, what is your favorite period in history? I'll give some time for folks to join here while we're doing some questions. I go through phases. So I get obsessive about a particular time period in history, and I'll kind of park there for a while. For most of my life, it's been the American Civil War. I would say from about 15 years ago till about 5 years ago, it was probably the Wars of the Roses in British history. 3 or 4 years ago, I think it started becoming World War I, the Great War. And then this year, it's been kind of a mix of the Napoleonic Wars and Roman history. After I went to Italy, I really have gotten into Roman history, and I'm going to be going to Italy again next year. So yeah, there's a little bit of all of that. When will I react to Napoleon's Marshals? It's coming within the next several days. I should be getting to the first episode of that. So it is coming. Do I think I'll visit Exeter? Yeah, I'd like to visit Exeter. That's down in the Southwest. So the reason I had the shirt is because one of the guys from the channel Decades, that's his favorite team. He's from Exeter, and so he sent that to me. Steve, so Scarborough, you've been and I haven't. How did I feel the site in terms of the place? I really liked Scarborough. Now, I was there at the beginning of July, and it was cold and windy. So the weather put a little bit of a damper on the visit just because it was so windy, and it was like, I don't know, 53 degrees Fahrenheit. So pretty chilly for mid-July, at least for what I'm used to. So, yeah, but it was a really, really amazing site to visit. Just wish that the weather had been better. Do I plan on doing a meetup in London again? Yes. I'm actually going to be back in London in September. I might try to set something up. I'm actually going to be there with some of my friends. Rob from History in Your Hand, who's in the chat, is going to be there, as are a few of my other friends, Marcel and Vashik. So I'll see what I can do. If I can arrange something, I will. There was a couple others I wanted to get to real quick before we pull this up. Just saw your story about your biological father. Has there been any change with him or your bio siblings? So I'm friends on Facebook with 2 of my 3 biological brothers. I've met all 3 of them. One lives in Alaska. The other 2 live here locally. I don't really talk to them much, but here and there. But no, nothing has changed with my biological father, unfortunately. And my grandmother, my paternal grandmother, is still living. I met her once before I knew for sure she was my grandma. And I don't know that she knows who I am, but she's now my only living grandparent. So I'm hopeful, but not expecting anything. All right. So yes, I have seen Deadpool and Wolverine. It was good. Do I think we're coming close to World War III? No, I don't. I hope we're not. What do I think of Embiid playing in the U.S. team? I don't know. Is that a problem? I haven't really paid much attention to it. Favorite English monarch before William the Conqueror? Definitely Alfred the Great. Love Alfred. Who do you think is the most impressive military leader in modern history. Wow. That's a tough question. Wow. I'd have to think about that a little bit. I don't know that anybody jumps out at me off the top of my head. All right. So looks like we've got 79 people now. I'm going to go ahead and start this game up. And if you want to join, we're doing 10 questions. And if you don't join, you want to just watch, that's fine. If you want to join later, we'll do more than one. So, yes, I will do an Ohio meetup at some point. Chat history, what's going on, guys? They're going on, Guy, I should say. Love your channel. Keep doing what you're doing. Who do you think gets a bad rap in history or has an unfairly poor reputation? A lot of people come to mind. I think Richard Nixon, probably because everybody focuses on something really that he deservedly did badly, and that's what all people think of. But I think people then overlook a lot of things that maybe weren't so bad that he did. That's the first one that comes to mind. Napoleon, I think, gets judged much harsher than he should, but I'm a bit of a Napoleon fan. So those are the first two that kind of come to my mind. Why didn't Meade pursue Lee after the Battle of Gettysburg? There's a lot of reasons for that, and I'll answer this question, then we'll start the game here. Number one, remember, he had only taken command of the army 3 days before the battle. Number two, it was the bloodiest battle in the entire Civil War. And, there's 51,000 casualties, 23,000 of them in Meade's army. He lost a quarter of his force. So there was a lot to deal with. There's a lot of logistical issues. There's just so many reasons why he didn't pursue. And I don't think that Lincoln fully understood the situation on the ground when he's pushing Meade to pursue. So, all right, let's go ahead and start this, and then we'll continue doing some questions here. And then I'll get Justin to your question in just a second here. These are only 50 or 40 seconds, and these are historic sites around the world. Okay, this is definitely a Roman site. Wow, that actually, that looks a little bit like Monte Cassino, but I've been to the Roman site at Monte Cassino, and that's not where that is. It might be Africa, but I'm just going to guess it's somewhere in Italy. I really have no idea. The ticking is loud. I hope it isn't too loud for you guys. I can mute it if it is. All right, where was I? Oh, it was in Greece. You guys did really good on that. Man, you guys killed me on that one. Justin says, if Sabaton made a Civil War album, what stories or topics would you choose for the songs? Angel of Marie's Heights would be a good one. Pickett's Charge would be a good one. Oh. This guy's got a Run DMC shirt on. That's fantastic. This also looks to be like a similar part of the world. We've got women in burqas, so I'm going to guess maybe a Muslim country. So let's maybe go somewhere like, I don't know, we'll go maybe around Tehran somewhere. First Minnesota would be a great story for the Civil War. Oh, where was it? It was over, it's actually in Jordan. Okay. What else would be a really good Civil War story? I could think some of the people, Stonewall Jackson would probably make a good topic for a song. The Iron Brigade would be a fantastic topic for a song. I'm doing terrible so far on this one. I'll get to these other ones in just a minute here. I'm getting the feeling that we're kind of in the same part of the world with all of these. Okay. That's not, is it German? Now let's back out a little bit. Oh, if I could just move a little bit. I think I turned off moving, or else you could read what that says right there. All right. That looks like it's in the Alps. I'm just gonna guess that it's somewhere in Bavaria. Ah, it was Switzerland. Actually, yeah, just barely inside of Switzerland. Okay. Adam, greetings from Blackpool. Awesome. Thank you so much for that. I hope that times have gotten better for you, Adam. I appreciate the kind words. Thank you for that. Lige Fire, thank you. CBB, is that stand for Columbus? No, maybe not. If you're looking for videos to react to Siege of Tsingtao, 1914 by History Dose, all of History Dose's stuff is great. I'll have to check that one out. I was actually just talking to those guys the other day because they're getting ready to go to Mongolia. And we were chatting a little bit. Great guys that do that channel. All right, let's do the next one here. And I'll get to some more in the chat, some more questions. All right, that's Greek. That's definitely Greek, but wow, beyond that, and those look like trees you would see in Greece. So beyond that, I really don't know. I'm gonna guess maybe this is in Crete somewhere. We'll go with that. Whatever, do a ranking of vice presidents and significant presidential candidates. We could do that sometime. How are my children doing? Are you able to spend some quality time with them? Absolutely, yeah, actually. So despite the fact that since we're divorced now, I only have my kids half of the time, which is obviously very tough. And I'm sure it's tough for my ex as well. Yeah, I actually probably have more quality time with them because I'm more intentional about that. So we were playing a trivia game last night, and they were actually here until a couple of hours ago. My son left to go to work around lunchtime, and then I took my daughter and my other son back to mom. Actually, just a couple hours ago. So I'll have them back on Friday. Got to do some other regions too, like the Caucasus. So I didn't pick this category. It's supposed to be world historic sites, but they all seem to be in the Mediterranean and in Southern Europe or in Central Europe. Wow. Not getting much from this one. There's a Coca-Cola sign that doesn't really narrow things down, though. I'm just going to guess maybe like somewhere in Hungary for this one. I don't think that was Hungarian on the sign, but Arabian history videos, yes. Actually, I was just a couple weeks ago in Denver. Oh my gosh, I was way off. That was in Chile. A lot of you guys did good on that one. See, I'm kind of only half paying attention. I was actually talking to a friend who was born in Iran about that very topic, about covering some more such history. So I definitely will be covering some Persian history, things like that at some point. So that's French. Doesn't necessarily mean this is in France, though. I mean, because they speak French in parts of Switzerland. They speak French in a good bit of Belgium. But I'm just going to guess that it's French. It's kind of hilly there. So maybe like Eastern France somewhere. Really totally guessing. Oh, Canada, of course. Quebec. Quebec also speaks French. Well, somebody's doing a lot better than me, and by somebody I mean pretty much everyone. Thoughts on the Tudors? The Tudors is what got me interested in the Wars of the Roses in that period of history. I know exactly where this is. But and I'm not going to go there right away because I don't want to give it away for other people. I like the attitude that Jonathan Rhys Meyers has in playing Henry VIII, even though he doesn't look that much like Henry VIII. And I love Natalie Dormer, so anything she's in, I'll watch. All right. I might have cut it too close here. I don't have time to get on the exact spot, but it's Philadelphia Independence Hall. All right, let's take a look at who's winning. I'm in 39th place. Awesome. Kyle's winning. Nice job, Kyle. Let's get to a couple of other chats here. Another Exonian here, and Dad. Oh, hey, Martin, what's going on, man? How you doing? I will definitely take you up on that offer sometime. I'd love to meet you sometime, Martin. Do I have a favorite Cold War movie? I think Hunt for Red October would probably be mine as well, even though it's obviously fictitious. Would I consider football, soccer your favorite sport? Yes. No, yeah, that's definitely my favorite sport. Not only because that's the sport that my son plays, and actually all 3 of my kids have played, but I just really get into it as well. Favorite monarch in British history is Edward III. Some good ghost stories around the Revolutionary War. I'm the wrong person to ask about that, Adam. I don't really know any. I don't get much into that stuff. All right. I have no idea where this is. I can't even tell from the signs. Like nothing. It's not really giving anything away for me. I can't quite zoom in enough to see that. Some of these let you move and some don't for some reason. I have absolutely no idea on this one. Not a clue. $1600s to today, it has to be Napoleon, Joe. Yeah, hard to argue with that for that answer to that question. We already did that one. Let me catch up on the super chats here. Xanox the Ark, thank you. Have I ever visited the Civil War Medicine Museum? No, but I actually just met a guy from there when I was in Gettysburg the last time, and he gave me his card and invited me to come check that out. Simal Borluk is in first place now, so I am going to visit that museum. Round 9, we've got 2 to go on this one. It's dark. What on earth are we supposed to do about this one? I think whoever built this one screwed it up. All right, I'm going to guess that this is in Ohio because it's never sunny here. Noah, going to visit France with your family. Thank you for the super chat. Where would you recommend staying to visit the D-Day beaches? Depends on how much you're willing to pay. I've only been there once, so like I know like JD is in the chat and he could answer this better than I could, but I would think Bayou is a good spot. It's pretty centrally located because you got to remember the D-Day beaches are spread out over like 60 miles. So wherever you stay, you want to try and be somewhere that's centrally located for all of them. Because if you're planning on going to like Gold Sword and Juneau, you're not going to want to stay somewhere over by Omaha and Utah, for example. So Bayou, I think, is a good spot for all of them. But maybe some others in the chat who have spent more time in Normandy can speak to that better. St. Petersburg was the answer. How come people actually got that? That's interesting. Maybe others actually could see stuff and I couldn't. Final round. I feel like I've seen that thing before. What is that? They're obviously protecting some kind of site there. Wow. Seems like a desert area. All right, I'm gonna go with. I'm just gonna guess something like, I don't know, like northern Israel somewhere. Would I ever do a video on Edward III? Yes, definitely, Christian, and thank you for that super chat. Matt, thank you for that. Do I believe Arthur Tudor and Catherine ever consummated their marriage? Yes, I do. It's impossible to know for sure, but I don't see any reason why they wouldn't have. And he made some joke to his friends about having been in Spain the night before after that. Given the age that they were and given the circumstances, and the fact that they were married for several months before he got sick and died, I see no reason why they wouldn't have consummated the marriage. All right. So that was terrible for me. Congratulations to everybody who destroyed me. I finished 42nd on that one. So we'll do another one here in just a minute. Let me get caught up on the chat. So, all right. As a Welshman, our history is mainly overlooked compared to the rest of the UK. Cambrian Chronicles. I've had a number of people recommend that to me lately. So I am going to be checking out that channel sometime in the near future. And I'm very interested in Welsh history. So I'll definitely be doing that soon. So thank you for that super chat. Went on a Band of Brothers tour in France. It was amazing. Very cool. Which one did you do? Like who was hosting that? Because I know there's a lot of different ones. So I'm just curious to know which tour you did. Nerd Jacob, thoughts on William Colville? Are we speaking of? Is that the name? That's the name of the commander of the 1st Minnesota? If so, tough guy. I'm assuming that's who you're talking about. Wish they would do more to talk about the 1st Minnesota. Kieran, thank you for that. What pre-TV era president do I think would perform best in our social mass media times? Wow, that's hard to say. Theodore Roosevelt, I think, would be one. Andrew Jackson. Beyond that, I'm trying to think of who would do well in such a situation. Those are the first two that come to my mind. Theodore Roosevelt and Andrew Jackson. Javelins, thank you for that. I have not watched Shogun yet, but I've heard good things, and I definitely do want to check it out. Cosmic the Spider, thank you. Opinion on Operation Northwoods and the potential for U.S. government to implement something like it today for casus belli of imperial wants. I'm actually not familiar with Operation Northwoods. That was the false flag operation. That was for the intervention in Cuba. I knew about that operation. I didn't know that's what it was called. I think it would be a lot harder for the U.S. government to do that today. I think the chances are much higher of a whistleblower leaking that before it actually was able to go down. All right, I'm trying to get caught up on the chats, and then we're going to do another one of these here. Which election was more unfair? I don't think 1824 was unfair. It followed the constitutional rules, so I wouldn't say that one was unfair. 1876, maybe you could argue that. 1960 might have been unfair. I think that was probably decided by fraud. 1876 was shady, but any argument you can make that there was fraud on the part of the Republicans could be countered by arguments of voter suppression by the Democrats in the South. So it kind of works both ways. So there's really no good way to untangle 1876 and know who really would have won that election if everything was fair. So I think any of the post-Civil War elections were unfair when it came to voting rights in the South, especially during Jim Crow for blacks in the South. Pota Doge, thank you for that. My favorite 100-year period is of history. I would say, if we stretch it to 110 years, I would say Napoleonic Wars through World War I is probably the area in which there's a lot of history I'm really interested in. Napoleonic Wars, Mexican-American War, American expansion, the American Civil War, Ulysses S. Grant's in there, Theodore Roosevelt's in there, World War I's in there. A lot of history that I'm interested in that time period. Armchair Historian's Polish-Soviet War is worth it. Zyler, thank you for that. I'll check that out. Not to be political, but as a Michigander, J.D. Vance's mea culpas during RNC made me chuckle. I am pleased to see a Buckeye on the ticket. It's the first time in my lifetime that there's been a Buckeye on a ticket. So always glad to see Ohio getting represented. Hopefully he can represent us well. It's been a rough start for him, I think. But yeah, I did enjoy that. I didn't watch a lot of the RNC, but I did watch his speech. And I did enjoy the pokes at Michigan. I think it was all in good fun. And I hope you guys know that when I do that, it's the same deal. As an Ohioan, just like Michiganders are obligated to hate Ohio, as an Ohioan, I'm obligated to hate Michigan, but I don't really hate you. I just like to talk about it. As a matter of fact, I'm actually going to be going my very first Ohio State game. I'm going to go to the Ohio State-Michigan game this fall in Columbus with a friend from Ohio and a friend from Michigan who's going as a Michigan fan. It was actually his idea, so I told him we would make sure we protected him when we go. So I'm going to get caught up on these super chats, and then we're going to get back to another round of this. History of chess. Actually, if I did something on the history of chess, I'd probably pull my son Eli into that. He's obsessed with chess, and he's really, really good at it. That would actually be pretty interesting to do. And he watches a lot of prominent chess YouTubers. Isaac, thank you for that. James, it was the Overlord tour. Highly recommend. Okay, very cool. Shashank Singh, thank you for that. Have I heard the Latin song Belisarius by a Persian artist? No, but I will definitely check that out. I'll make a note of that and check that out. We're almost caught up here. Anna Markey, History, Luftwaffe Ace, Life of Hans Joachim Marseille. Just the title is long, but I'll have to look into that. Let me check that out sometime. Dara, thank you for that. What exactly is Wilsonianism? Did Wilson really believe in complete self-determination? No, he didn't believe in complete self-determination of other countries. That was the way he sold it. But what he really meant was complete self-determination so long as you're a white European and you are pro-America. That's what he meant. Otherwise, he didn't really care about self-determination. Fusical, do I think the firing of Gouverneur Warren was warranted? Well, it was actually right after the siege of Petersburg. It was after the breakout of Lee's army, and they were chasing Lee. So it wasn't during the siege itself. But I'm not a huge fan of Phil Sheridan to begin with, and he's the one that fired him. And I think that in hindsight, probably it wasn't warranted. Warren wasn't the best commander, but I don't think he did anything warranting being fired, especially by Phil Sheridan, who I think the hype is a little overblown on Sheridan. Patrick, thank you. Yes, I do want to get up to places like Saratoga, Fort Ticonderoga, Fort William Henry. Absolutely something I want to do in the near future. Lige Fire, do I have a favorite English queen consort? Eleanor of Aquitaine's tough to beat, man. She's fantastic. Elizabeth, those are all really good choices. Catherine of Aragon, Elizabeth Woodville, who is, of course, Henry VIII's grandmother. Grandmother, yeah. Because his mother was Elizabeth of York, so yeah, his grandmother was Elizabeth Woodville. Eleanor of Aquitaine probably be my favorite. Tough to beat her. Mr. Shy Kisser, thank you for that. Have I visited Washington State? Yes, I was there I went to Spokane, and I spoke at a Catholic school in Spokane. That's the only time I've been there other than changing planes in Seattle. Ramses, awesome name, by the way. Thank you for that. For a young guy like you, you're an inspiration. Thank you. I appreciate that. I try to be level-headed. I don't always succeed, but I try to do my best. All right, one more, and then we're going to do another game here. Justin, am I coming to China? Yes. I don't have a specific plan in place yet, but we're planning on doing a group tour to China. Probably end of 2025, early 2026 is what I'm looking at right now. Don't know exactly the dates. 2026 is my son's senior year in high school, so I want to make sure I plan around any significant dates for him. But yes, planning to do a group tour that people will be able to sign up and join me for in China. So I will definitely announce that when it happens. I will be for sure in Beijing for a couple of days. So we'll announce any kind of meetups for that for anybody who might be interested if you're over in China. Okay. Let me get back over to the main chat here. I'm getting caught up. Okay. I'm going to pick something that's a little more in my wheelhouse because that last one did not go so well for me. So let me pop this back over, and then I'll give you guys the link again so you can join if you want to. We're going to go back to the American Civil War because I need something that makes me feel good about myself. Okay. So here's the join information. I'm also going to post the link in the chat. We don't have a lot of room for additional people to join. We can only do 100. So while we're waiting for a few more to join, Dave, thank you for the super chat. Just discovered U.S. and Canadian forces engaged in friendly firefight during Operation Cottage in the Aleutians. Interesting. I didn't know about that, but I knew there was fighting up there, and I'm not surprised given that friendly fire was a regular part of every war, including World War II. So I'm not the least bit surprised that that happened. Cosmic Spider, thank you. Your brother said the Paris Olympics had represent. I saw people talking about that, but there's some debate about what exactly was being represented. I didn't get all that worked up about it, and honestly, I didn't watch the opening ceremonies. I only saw everybody talking about it afterwards. But I think you'd have to be. There's a lot of things that somebody riding a pale horse could represent besides just the book of Revelation. It's one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. So yeah, I didn't see it, and I didn't get too worked up about it. We're maxed out at 100, so let's go ahead and start. All right, U.S. Civil War. All right. Yeah, I know where that one's at. Interestingly, this is pretty well darn near the exact spot where something really historic happened. Pretty much right in the direction that we're looking right now is where Lincoln gave the Gettysburg Address. So we're standing pretty much about right there is where that is. How close was I? 17 yards from the location. Parmesan, as an American living abroad who was hardly exposed to any U.S. history or politics, your channel has been awesome to learn about this fascinating country. Thank you. I appreciate that. Any plan on visiting Sweden? Absolutely. I have Swedish roots, Sabaton's from there. I do want to connect with my friend Indy Nidell. Sometime we chat like through texting and stuff and email, but I haven't been able to link up with him, and I'd very much like to collab with him on something. Excuse me. And he lives in Sweden, so that's where we'll do that. I will definitely visit Sweden sometime in the next few years. 2 of us got 5,000 on that one. Okay, we got signs here for this one. All right, interesting. Again, I'm waiting a little bit. Before I go to this one because I don't want to give it away for people too much. All right, I don't know exactly where in Oklahoma this was, but I think it's somewhere over this way. I'm definitely not going to get a perfect score on this one. Oh, it was further south than I realized. Chakota's down there. I think that's where Carrie Underwood's from. I only got 3,400 points for that one. Dang. Not as good as I thought. Norway, yeah. If I go to Sweden, I'll go to Norway as well at the same time, Overlord. Would definitely love to visit both of those countries. I want to visit pretty much everywhere. That's my problem. Okay, looks vaguely familiar. Wow. Not 100% on this one. but I have a, wait a second. All right. I think this is Antietam, but I'm actually not sure. Darn it. It's over here. It might be. Nah, it wasn't. That was Perryville. I haven't been to the Perryville battlefield yet. That's a big hole in my Civil War history right now. I'm not doing so great. I'm in 4th. Okay, I think I do. No, maybe not. This is one of 2 places. I think I know where this is. As a pastor, do you think is an under-taught part of church history? The Battle of Milvian Bridge. That's kind of church history, I guess, just because of the impact on the Roman Empire that it had. I think this is actually Kennesaw Mountain, but I'm running out of time, so darn it, I should have gone sooner. This is the problem with doing this. It was Kennesaw Mountain, but I waited too long to start zooming in to find it. Darn it. I'm still in 1st. Milvian Bridge. I want to get to the Milvian Bridge when I go to Rome next. I'm actually going to Italy twice next year. Once with my sister and once with my kids. Okay. I think I know where this is. Yeah. Pretty sure I know where this is. I'm going to start zooming in. This has got to be Chattanooga. Specifically, I think this is Missionary Ridge because I think that's Lookout Mountain in the distance there. So Missionary Ridge is over here on this side. I think somewhere. I didn't click on it. No. I heard the clicking and it didn't go. Yeah, it's totally Missionary Ridge. I just screwed myself on that one. Darn it. I can't possibly win now. I knew it was Missionary Ridge. Oh, that was painful. All right. I need to get up to an intersection here to figure this one out. I think I know where this is. Oh, I'm running out of time again. Darn it. I should have made the time longer. I think that was around the wilderness. No, it wasn't. That was Stones River, another battlefield I haven't been to. Murfreesboro, Stones River battlefield. Dang. I'm only half paying attention to this is my problem. Wow. Okay. This has got to, this is out west somewhere. I don't really have a clue where it could be. So, thank you for the super chat, Shashank Singh. As a Hindu who's really into Christianity, could you explain what communion is? So communion has its roots in what we call the Last Supper, which is in the Gospels, Jesus, the night that he's arrested before he's crucified, they're doing the Passover feast, and he takes unleavened bread, and he takes the wine, and he says, this bread, he said, this is my body, which is given for you. Take and eat this in remembrance of me. And then it says in the same way after supper, he took the cup, saying, this cup is the new covenant in my blood. Drink this as often you do it in remembrance of me. So he instituted a form of remembrance, a form of, it depends on, if you're talking to a Catholic or if you're talking to a Protestant. And even within the Protestant churches, there are a lot of different views of communion, but it's a representation of Jesus' death, his body and his blood, his sacrifice on the cross. And it's a way for people in church to connect with him, to identify with that, to remember what he's done, depending on who you are. And open communion, I think all that refers to is that anyone's welcome to do it. Whereas, for example, if you go to a Catholic church, I can't take communion at a Catholic church because I'm not Catholic. That's a closed communion. So I hope that makes sense. James Garfield's winning. Makes sense since he fought in the Civil War. Oh, I know exactly where this is. So let's do another question before I start zooming in. Would I visit Quebec City? It's your home city. I'd like to at some point, if I ever get the chance. There's some great history up there. All right, I ain't going to wait too long because Point Park is, that's Chattanooga. That's Lookout Mountain. So it's right up here. It was closed when I was there, but I am going back. Got a friend here on the channel who works at a hotel, and they offered for me to stay there if I come back. So rumors have it that you're leaving Ohio to move to California. The rumors are definitely wrong. I would never leave Ohio to move to California, but thank you for the super chat. All right, I got 4,999 for that one, but I'm still in 10th. If I had clicked on the Missionary Ridge one, I'd be in second place probably right now. 2 to go. Ooh, so I haven't been here yet, but I'm going in April. Jason, thank you for the super chat. Cosmic the Spider. Do I consider the United States are or the United States is? It's definitely is now. We have lost a lot of our identity as separate states, and I think that's intentional. With the Constitution, this is Appomattox Courthouse. I've already booked my hotel for Appomattox, so I can be there for the 160th anniversary of the surrender on April 9th. So if you want to join, would love to see you there. All right, let me get back to some more chat here. You got to come visit Newfoundland. Cod fishing a few days ago, and you counted 16 whales at the same time. That is awesome. I'd love to go to Newfoundland, if for no other reason than I want to visit the unknown warrior that they just brought there from the Somme battlefield. Oh gosh, terrible roads. I can tell you that. Wow. There's a whole lot of nothing, so it could be kind of anywhere. But obviously, I have a first guess on where this might be. It's just a really straight road, too. How far can I go before I see some kind of identifying mark? I guess I'm not going to. All right, we're going to have to guess the wilderness on this one. It may very well be somewhere completely different than that. Oh, it was... Wait. That was not Champion Hill. I was just at Champion Hill a couple... Oh, maybe it was part that I haven't been to. I was just at Champion Hill a couple months ago. Didn't look like the part where I was at. All right. Let me get all down and caught up to the chats here. You being president, who from history is your military commander? Jace Pyle. From American history, I'd go with Grant. From any history, probably Napoleon. CBB, I am a fan of NASCAR, and Ryan Blaney is the current champion. I actually used to live not far from the house he grew up in Hartford, because I lived in Transfer, Pennsylvania, which if you look at a map is right across the border from Hartford. And I know right where his parents, like where his dad, Dave Blaney, is from, where they have a house there. I grew up in Trumbull County as well. So I was born in Warren. I'm guessing that's probably where Ryan was born too, is in Warren, because that's anybody born in Trumbull County, unless they're born at home, they're born in Warren, because that's where the hospitals are. Actually, a guy that works in their shop is a fan of this channel, and he brought me some Ryan Blaney merch when we were together. Was that had to have been in Vicksburg when I did the Vicksburg tour? I think he came to that. Okay, so let's see who ended up winning. James Garfield, congratulations. I probably would have won if I hadn't missed that one question. That's frustrating. Since Twister's just released, can we get a video of the history of storm chasing? Maybe. I don't know. It's not a topic I'm really all that into, but I do want to see that movie. If I have to pick one historical site, which is my favorite? Oh gosh, that's like asking me to pick which one of my kids is the favorite. It depends on the day. But oh gosh. I have to think about that. I love, honestly, I would probably have to say, if I was thinking of a country for history, I would say England. If I'm thinking of a city for history, I would say Vienna, Austria. If I'm thinking a specific historic site, Westminster Abbey. Love Westminster Abbey. And maybe a close second would be the Tower of London. Really cool too. Really enjoy your videos. I learned a lot by watching them. Even though I'm from Brazil, American history is very interesting. Awesome. And Brazil has some incredible history too. So that's cool. Hold on. I got to respond to something real quick here. Okay. All right. Let me get caught up on some of the live chat here. Can I remove inactive players? Yeah, I can do that. I think there's only one though. There we go. Oh no, I guess there was a lot. So, okay. Let me pick a new topic. Let's do some World War One. Oh, here's a famous places one that's been played by a lot of people, and it's got Neuschwanstein Castle in the picture there, which I've been to. It's a really cool place. So, all right, here we go. I didn't mean to do that. I'm going to add a little time. We're going to put it up to a minute per question. Give myself a little time to breathe. Any videos on the War of 1812? Yeah, so I was actually just at the New Orleans battlefield, the Chalmette battlefield down in New Orleans, but I didn't do a video just because I was not there long enough to do one justice. But I do want to go back and do that. Your third great grandfather, John Sneed Bradbury, was killed May 10th, 1864, at battle in Georgia at Snake Creek Gap, buried at Chattanooga National Cemetery. By the way, that's where the first Medal of Honor recipients are buried. The Andrews Raiders are buried there, including Andrews himself, and that's where Desmond Doss is buried. If you're familiar with Hacksaw Ridge, he's buried in that cemetery as well. All Quiet in the Trenches. New video coming tomorrow, Mr. Will and Shower. I'm also going to be streaming on the gaming channel at some time soon. What's my favorite decade of music? The 50s or the 80s? I would say the 50s or the 80s. Am I going to do a video about the surrender remembrance? Yes, I will do something. Who do I rate higher, George Thomas or James McPherson? Well, I think I would defer to Grant and Sherman, and I would say they probably rated McPherson higher. Both solid. I mean, a lot of people rate George Thomas as their best general of the war, but Grant felt that Thomas was good if you were asking him to hold a position and defend, but wasn't aggressive enough on the attack. In fact, Thomas was about to be relieved of command when he won the Battle of Franklin. Had Franklin not happened, Thomas would have been removed from command. Marty Griff, thank you for that. Is there any historical event too decisive to do a reaction to? I'm guessing you mean divisive. And yeah, there's plenty of those. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start this. Anything recent in the last 50 years, you start to get people having divisive opinions on, but there's other ones too. All right. Wow. Okay. Don't recognize this place, but it's really cool wherever it is. Dang. Trying to get a better view to see if I can. I mean, I feel like that's got to be like Bavaria or Austria, right? I couldn't tell you what though. I'm just going to guess somewhere in Bavaria. Malik, if you could do an interview with a historic person who is not a religious figure, sorry, Moses, Muhammad, Jesus. Also, don't say Grant. Um, hmm. Where was it? Oh my gosh, it was in France. Where is that? The Chateau de Chenonceau. Okay. Yeah, I was way off. Some of you knew it was France, though. So good job to all of you who did that. All right, let me do one more and then I'll get to some more chats. Oh, wow. Cool place, wherever it is. That's, I think that's a Spanish flag. Wow. Awesome, though, wherever it is. I mean, it's got to be somewhere in Madrid, right? I'll just go with Madrid. I'd recommend the video Decline of Britain's Failed Hitler from Jimmy the Giant. Is that about Oswald Mosley? I think is who you're talking about. Actually, he's a prominent character in Peaky Blinders, if you've ever seen that. Interesting. I'll have to check that out because that is a topic I would like to talk about, is like the failed socialist movement in places like Britain. Sean Sedgwick, thank you for the super chat. Big fan from Middlesbrough. Are you Middlesbrough fan of the team? Where steel for Sydney Harbor Bridge was made. U.S. history was neglected here. Awesome. So it was, in fact, Madrid. So awesome. I'm pretty happy about how that worked out. I'm in 45th place, though, because I did so bad on the first one. Man, when are we going to get to one that I've actually been to before? This looks like it's more like Eastern Europe, maybe? Saint Margarita, Saint Elisabetta. Is that Italy then? Wait. It's not Rome, is it? Wait, that's the Eiffel Tower over there in the distance. Oh, this is France. You can just see the top of the Eiffel Tower. All right. So it's the hills, so it's kind of out in the distance. So I'm going to see if I guess the wrong place. Do I play Civilization games? Yes, I do. I haven't for a while, but I've played Civilization going all the way back to the beginning. Wait, what was that Eiffel Tower looking thing I looked at then? Is there something like the Eiffel Tower in Prague? I need to get to Prague. I've heard such good things about Prague. Who do I think the U.S. men's national team should hire? I was hoping we would go with somebody like the recently departed manager from Liverpool, but he said no. I think it's got to be a European of some kind. Greg Berhalter, who was hired from Columbus, so he was my team's coach here in Columbus. He wasn't the guy at all. We need somebody that's got experience at that stage, like in the World Cup and things like that, to take us to the next level. What do I think are realistic expectations for the World Cup? I think anything less than the final 8 is a disappointment for the Americans in the next one. My son and I do hope to get to some games. None of them are super close to us. I think the closest one's going to be like a 5-hour drive, but we're going to try to. The U.S., though, they're playing all their group stage games on the West Coast, so we're not going to get to see any U.S. games, at least not in the group stage. All right, next one. Benet for Israel. When did I get interested in history and why? Thank you for the super chat. I was 8 years old, and it was when they found the Titanic in 1985. That was what sent me down my first historic rabbit hole, and that's when I discovered that I could easily get obsessed with topics related to history. This looks like it's more of a kind of a warmer climate, like Mediterranean or Caribbean. I have no idea though. You know what? The style though makes me think like Southeast Asian. So I don't know exactly what it is, but we're gonna go with something like Cambodia. Best and worst first lady. Worst is easy. That's Edith Wilson, just because she hid her husband's illness from the world and basically kind of took it upon herself to act as president in a way. I think she should have been much more honest about that. Best, so I wasn't too far off. I only get 911 points for that one, though. There's a few that come to mind for best. I think Eleanor Roosevelt was a really good one. Mary Todd Lincoln might be another among the worst. Honestly, I've always really liked Laura Bush. Not for anything in particular that she did. I just found her to be a very classy lady. Not that the others haven't been. Wow, I got no idea. I'm going to guess somewhere like, I don't know, Colombia. The downfall of Henry Ford's secret country in Brazil. Okay, that does sound interesting, Alston, especially because I've done some Henry Ford stuff, and he was not exactly a great dude at all. Dalton, thank you for that. As a Nebraskan now living in Kansas, I'm here to say you should come visit. So Mr. Beaton, oh yeah, actually Mr. Beaton and I have talked about doing something. I actually want to go to Kansas City and visit the World War I Museum as well. Wow, I was way the heck off on that one. That was in Bangladesh. 0 points for me. Where do I rank now? But yeah, I will get to that at some point. Ooh. No visitors. I love how it says no visitors beyond this point and someone's beyond that point, unless they mean over the top there. Not a single one of these are places I've actually been to before. I got nothing. I got absolutely nothing on this. We're going to just guess somewhere in Italy. Justin, who do I like more for the murder of the princes in the tower? I don't like Henry Tudor specifically, but I do lean on the Duke of Buckingham on Henry Tudor's behalf. That's who I think. So I think not Henry Tudor directly, because obviously Tudor wasn't in the country yet, but someone doing his bidding, maybe even without his knowledge, maybe did it to help him without him even knowing it was happening. Oh, was that in Zimbabwe? All right, cool. Okay. Saint Etienne. So we're in France. But I don't know where in France. I guess I could Google where Saint Etienne is and go from there, but I don't want to cheat. So Time Guesser, yeah. Time Guesser is good. Malik, I'll go back and see what your question was again. Let me see if I can go find it, because that was a while ago. Just give me 1 second. I'm looking. It's back pretty far though. Weird, I don't see it. So let me go. Sorry, I'm trying to get caught up on the chat. Where was it? Oh, it was way down in southern France. All right, how are we doing here? I'm in 82nd place. I am doing absolutely terrible. Favorite Elvis song? Not a huge fan of Elvis, but I would say probably Love Me Tender. You know what it is? It's Can't Help Falling in Love. Buddy Holly, I've got too many to list, but I would say my favorite Buddy Holly song is probably Peggy Sue Got Married, which was unreleased. He recorded it in his apartment before he died, and then it got released after he died from the apartment tapes. I got no idea where this is either, but it I don't know. Let's go with Bulgaria. Time Guesser is, yeah, I've done Time Guesser. We'll have to do that sometime as a stream. Wondery American History Tellers and American Scandal and Business Wars and Business Movers are all good history podcasts. I'm still trying to get caught up on, oh, it wasn't too bad. That was Sarajevo. I'm still trying to get caught up on all of Dan Carlin's podcasts. Hey, that moved me from 82nd to 71st. Yumi, Polynesian history or the history of New Zealand wars. Yeah, I'd love to. It's on my long list of things I'd like to learn more about for sure. All right, so what flag is that? I should know what flag that is, and I'm drawing a blank. I'm usually pretty good with flags. I mean, it looks similar to the Dutch flag, but no, is that Luxembourg or something? I don't know. I'm tired. It's been a long day. Benet, did I know that Chihuahuas are a breed of dog? Yes, I did in fact know that. It's also a state in Mexico. Want to be on a game show? Oh, Jeopardy, without a doubt. I love Jeopardy. It was the Netherlands. And I've actually been in that part of the Netherlands. Was that flag just faded or something? Because that didn't look like the Dutch flag to me. But yeah, I've been to Maastricht. I actually, and in Margraten, that's where the American cemetery is, in Margraten. This is actually, I'm trying to look here because I stayed in a hotel in a little town right in this area. I'm trying to remember the Norbeck, I think was the name of the town I stayed in. Where is that at? Norbeck, right there. That's where I stayed, right there. This little town right on the border with Belgium. Who are my top 3 presidents? Theodore Roosevelt, Abraham Lincoln, George Washington. Final round. See if I can pull my score from the gutter here. Ooh. Cool spot, but doesn't look at all familiar to me. Looks a little bit like somewhere I've been, but wait, let's go back. I want to see that sign again. Aha! Romania 2019 EU. So shall we go with Bucharest then? Let's just go with somewhere in Bucharest. All right. Going to wrap that game up, and we'll do try to catch up on a few more questions here. Favorite British monarch, David, is Edward III, and I have done a video ranking them several years ago. I did a tier ranking of all the British monarchs. You should still be able to find it. It was a live stream that I did, but it should be up on the channel. All right, so that was Bucharest. I finished 62nd. Flores official, thank you for that. Have I heard of the Battle of Weiss Fork in North Carolina? No, I didn't, but hopefully that's something that the American Battlefield Trust is aware of, because that's the kind of thing that they will fight as a project trying to go straight through there. They're currently fighting some battles in Virginia over some projects. trying to preserve some land. Mr. Bison, tier list for World War I generals. Actually, that's a really good idea. And if I did it, I'd probably do it over on the Great War channel. But that would be a fun live stream idea to do there. So I think we'll do that sometime. All right, let's catch up a couple more minutes here on the chat, and then we're going to wrap this up so I can get some dinner. So I've watched the Theodore Roosevelt show. Yeah, it was good. And I think both actors, the British actor who played Grant in the Grant one was good, and so was the Theodore Roosevelt one. I liked both of them, really. Do I know much about the War of 1812? I know just enough. I don't know a ton. It's not something I, would feel confident teaching a lecture on or anything like that. So that was Luxembourg City. Okay, that's why. Hey, Steve, take care, man. Justin, you're half Hawaiian. Best books on history, in your opinion, are Captive Paradise, A History of Hawaii. Interesting. I haven't been to Hawaii since 2002. Went there on my honeymoon. Martin, any plans to travel to Leipzig? Yes. You're talking about the Battle of the Nations monument? Yes. Actually, so early January, I'm going to Italy with my sister. End of January, I'm going to be part of a tour with some of the guys from Masters of the Air, some of the actors, including Sawyer Spielberg, Steven Spielberg's son, touring some of the sites associated with the crew from Alice from Dallas that was shot down. But we're based out of Liège for that. And I'm thinking while I'm there, then I'm going to go over to Berlin. And if I go to Berlin, I might try to shoot down to Leipzig as well. So big dreams, I know, but I'm hoping to. Do I feel like J.D. Vance really represents Ohio? No, you can't say that about anybody. Does anybody really represent that place? I mean, I don't even represent my own family in Ohio. Why? Because every person's different. My sister, my cousins have very different political beliefs than me. So, like, I can't even say that I represent the Maori family from Ohio. To say one person represents the entire state, that's possible. Does he represent some Ohioans? Absolutely. Does he represent others? No. Greetings from Poland on the eve of the 80th anniversary of the Warsaw Uprising. Warszawa Walcz, Christina. Definitely want to get to Poland, man. I say that all the time, but Poland is moving to the top of the list of my I haven't been to places yet that I want to go to. Yes, I am going to do more History Dose. I mentioned at the top of the stream that I was just talking to one of the guys from History Dose. I think they're getting ready to head to Mongolia. So I'm excited to hear how that goes. Top 5 states. My completely biased opinion of top 5 states would be Ohio number 1, Kentucky number 2, Virginia number 3, Tennessee 4, North Carolina 5. Completely biased. Have you ever listened to The Dollop or Behind the Bastards? I have not. I have driven through Aachen, but I haven't been there. I want to go there. I want to see Charlemagne's tomb. Actually, on one of my first trips to Europe, I was planning to go to Aachen, and I just ran out of time on the day that I was going to go. Yes, I actually made a video at the, if you're talking about the Confederate Memorial Hall, Michael, I did shoot a video there. I'm hoping to get it up soon. So, all right, we're going to wrap it up here in just a second. Have I ever seen the movie Nicholas and Alexandra? I have not seen that movie. Crate, love the channel. Thank you. I hate when people refer to places in my state as in Western Virginia. All right, that's fair. We rebelled from the rebels. Yes, you did. 80s song ranking on VTH Extra. Yes, I need to do that. Favorite Civil War regiment? Again, completely biased. The 20th Ohio. Why? Because I'm writing a book about the 20th Ohio right now. So there you go. Stephen, that's not a bad list. That's a solid list. West Virginia, Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, South Carolina. I would not argue with that list. That's a solid list. So, all right, we're going to wrap it up here in just a minute. Last question, Jacob. Do I know more about World War I or World War II? World War I for sure. What's the book going to be called? I'm still debating that, but the working title is For the Union, the 20th. It's either going to be For the Union, 20th Ohio in the Civil War, or I might call it Trumbull County Boys, because I'm specifically focusing on a company, Company H, which is from Trumbull County. It's the only company in the regiment that was from Northeast Ohio. The rest was all from Central and Southwestern Ohio. So working title, we'll see what happens. But all right. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to everybody who donated in the super chats. My apologies to anybody that I didn't get to in the chat. But we are going to try to stream more often moving forward, especially because I'm not traveling much in the next couple of months. So if it didn't catch you on this one, hopefully I catch you on the next one. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care.